What in the 20s is going
in the 20s?
Think about
Yeah. The 20s, baby. Plenty.
What in the 20s is
I am
going
here for my
on?
20s, baby.
This is the 20s.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Zama Mkize, and this is What in the 20s, a podcast where you listen to me grow through it, baby. On this episode, we're going to be speaking about how it's time to get delusional. It is so time as we continue our series of conquering 2026. I am so in need. I am so in need of you to become delusional in 2026. I need you to be so unrealistic, unreasonable. You know, I need you to be shooting your shots in anything, in everything. I need you to be putting yourself out there. I need you to start believing that everything that you want, everything that's good for you, everything that's meant for you, and all of that will and is happening to you right now, that it is your reality, that it is your lifestyle, that it is who you are. You need to have the most deranged confidence, because it's not cutting it anymore, to be realistic about things. It's not cutting it anymore to not dream. You need to dream. You need a dream so big that it scares you. You need a dream so big that it scares everyone around you. You need a dream so big that it actually feels unattainable, and I'm desperate for you to do that with your life. I think that it will give you the results you're not even prepared to see, because you might have thought that, like, oh, this can't happen or whatever it is. But like, I need you to tap into that energy so badly, so badly, because what is holding you back is your self-limiting beliefs. What's holding you back is being too realistic about yourself and your life and who you are, that you think that this is all you can have, this is all you can be, when there is so much more. When I say that the world is abundant, like life is so abundant and you have access to it, if only you could just believe so, and start walking in accordance with that, right? And I think let's take something as simple as saying, what is my idea of a perfect day? Like my complete, from the moment when I wake up, what do I eat in the morning? What time do I wake up? And all of that kind of stuff. What is the weather? How does it smell? How do I feel? What am I waking up in? What am I wearing? The pajamas and stuff like that, what is my shower routine and all of that? Like, think of and be so specific. That's also like a key point, right? Being specific. It's too vague to just kind of be like, oh, that I wake up and this and that. Like, what time? Do you wake up with an alarm? Is the alarm on your phone, or do you have one of those clocks or whatever, those alarms where it has a beautiful kind of sunrise sound or whatever it is, something so far removed from your phone that you don't even look at your phone until hours later. Are you in silk pajamas or whatever? What does that look like? What sheets are you in and stuff like that? Get so detailed and like take time with it. It's your life. It's your perfect day. Enjoy planning it. Enjoy kind of designing. In my shower, what am I using? What do I use? A shower oil, a shower gel? Do I use both? Do I exfoliate? Do I use like, how do you treat yourself? I say so many times that like the morning is my favorite time of the day, because like it's my me time. Most of the things that I need to do to pour into myself happens in the morning, so even as much as how I shower and stuff, I put so much effort in like what shower gels I use and shower oils and exfoliating body scrubs and all of that kind of stuff. I love the way, like, I love the impact it has, the effects, I love the way they smell, the way that they make me feel and all of that kind of stuff. It just makes me feel so energized and ready to start my day. I have different ones for different seasons. If it's winter, I will probably be using like cocoa butter, that kind of shea butter feel, something that just feels warm, that feels like vanilla, that feels like, like it's a hug and all of that kind of stuff. Almond nuts, all of that. I love that stuff, even with your perfume and everything. In summer, I love a more fruity kind of feel, I even changed my hand soaps and all of that kind of stuff to feel. I love the feeling of being in my bathroom. I love my That's how delusional I am. I love my bathroom. From like the towel I choose to make as like, the towels I use, the floor mats, the whatever it is. I really put so much effort because that's the time I'm pouring into myself. That's the time I'm taking care of myself. What do I use to moisturize and stuff? What does my skincare routine look like? And yes, I have a routine for that too. It's not just the shower. Like these are all things that make me feel so good about myself, ready to start my day and all of that, and like it feels so irrelevant to some people, but for me, it's like so important. Like I want my hand lotion to match my hand wash, to match the aesthetic of like the space that I'm in, and I want it to make me feel revitalized. I want it to feel like summer and all of that kind of stuff. And my shower gel, I need it all to communicate. I need the shower gel to communicate with the lotion I'm going to use. So that's why I have different lotions, depending on which shower gel I use and whatever. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to make sense to other people, but it makes sense to me. These are what I do to take care of me. And you need to get that like deranged when it comes to think about what makes you feel good. What is it that you eat in the morning that will make you feel great? Are you tired of eating cereal? Would you like to have more of like an avocado and toast, or would you like salmon, or would you like what is your perfect kind of breakfast and all of that? Like really get into it, really kind of have fun with it, because you're going to realize how possible some of these things really are. You just have never taken the initiative, right? Because I would always just like dream and wish and watch other people, on their social medias or whatever, on their TikToks when they post their routines, and wish, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I could do that, or put that much effort into what bar soap I use or whatever. Because I'm just like, oh, it's just a bar soap, it'll make you clean, whatever, who cares? And now I'm that intentional about which bar soap I use, which toothpaste I use, which toothbrush I use, like everything that has to do with me. I've become more and more intentional about it, because these are things that pour into me, that make me feel good, that make me feel like I am living my dream day, my dream life, I'm becoming the woman that I want to be, that I am existing as that version of me, as I'm even saying, something as simple as your pajamas. Are you comfortable with just taking a t-shirt to bed and calling it your pajama or whatever? Or would you like something that feels, as I said earlier, like silk or like cotton, or like, do you want a robe? Do you want this? What are things that you can do in your life that will make you feel more and more in accordance and in alignment with who it is that you want to be? Like, be so outlandish. So outlandish. It could even be from the glass you drink out of. What do you want that glass to look like? The bottle that you drink water out of and stuff like that you carry throughout the day. What kind of bottle do you want to carry? What color is it? How does it feel inside? I've now like used the ones that are like that keep your water cool throughout the day and all of that. I love that feeling, because I love drinking cold water, and I love that it keeps it cool through like for hours and hours later. And so I invested, in buying something that, even it might be a little bit pricier, but like makes me feel so much better that I have this and all of that. Think about, like, sometimes I think we get so afraid, to spend a little bit more money or whatever it is, but if you're able to just apply yourself and save enough to just get that one thing, it could be that one thing that you need after 3 months or whatever, it's so rewarding. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? And you thought you were delusional about it 3 months ago, but now that you have it, now that you have access to it, now that it's your reality, because you applied yourself, you were intentional about how it is you want to kind of have it. You need to understand that every obstacle presents an opportunity, right? Every challenge presents an opportunity. So if you feel like, oh, my flight was cancelled today, sorry, I'm thinking about this now because I'm thinking about Richard Branson. That's how he came with his brand, the Virgin Airlines and all of that kind of stuff. Like, his flights was cancelled, and it's a whole other story. But like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. An opportunity presented himself to start something new, to start something for him and all of that, makes him proud and all of that. So sometimes you may be sitting and feeling like, oh, but Zama, like, oh, I don't know if I have enough money to do that. Zama, I don't know if I have enough time, whatever. That is an opportunity for you to assess your life and think about ways to improve it. Assess the gap in your life that is holding you back from what it is you need, what it is you want, and make that an opportunity for you to have ideas about how to improve your circumstances, how to improve, get you closer to where it is you want to be and who it is you want to be. And let go of your pre-existing kind of notions, like, oh, Zama, I don't want to think about this because it's unrealistic. I can't have that. I can't do this. I can't have salmon and stuff for my morning or whatever. I have to rush. I just gotta have like my whatever, my Rice Krispies, whatever, and keep it moving. And that's no shade to anyone who likes cereal. I'm just saying that, like, the convenience of just putting milk and cereal, whatever, and leaving for the day, rather than having to make a whole toast and cut out an avocado and cut out of this and cut it. Like, it feels like I don't have the luxury of time, the luxury of being able to have that consistently also. And maybe that's the thing. Start off small. Start off just having it once a month, and build until you're able to do it, weekly or whatever it is that you desire and stuff. Because the truth is, guys, you really need to teach your mind how to have access to the things you want. The reason why you don't know how to dream and, have that level of what it is you want is because your mind can't conceive it. So it's like I remember this one lady was speaking about how she was working in like a luxury restaurant and all of that, and they kept trying to tell the waiters and the staff essentially that you need to be giving the customers a luxury experience, a first class experience and all of that. The issue was that the staff had no idea what that meant, what that looked like, because not even they themselves have not experienced what a first class experience would be like, what it looked like. So they didn't even know how to give that out. And that's when she decided she needed to start being in spaces where she could observe, where she could experience, where she could get that knowledge so that she could be able to teach it and have it, and all of that. And that's what I mean. It's the same thing with like why they say you need a book of business class ticket, because once you do that, you're teaching your mind, like once you experience that standard, that level of living, you're constantly going to want to maintain that standard. And so you're going to keep trying to find solutions to your problems so that you can consistently travel at that standard, And that's what I mean. Like, you need to give yourself that access to, so if you have a little bit of coin on you, whatever, buy that I don't know, that more expensive shower gel or whatever, buy that salmon or whatever it is that you feel like is too, that's a little bit, or that perfume or that whatever it is. Because once you do that, you're now going to consistently keep trying to find a way to keep doing that, to keep striving for that, And that's the thing, because we haven't even opened our minds to it, we remain performing at a standard that isn't up to where it is that we want to be and all of that kind of stuff. You need to move as if, when I say you need to have like crazy confidence, you need to move as if the laws do not apply to you, as if just because my background didn't allow me to do this, my parents didn't live like this, my this or whatever it is, you need to move as if those laws of whatever pre-existing, whatever it is that's telling me that I can't achieve this, that I can't have this dream, that I can't have this goal, that I can't have this life. You need to actually start thinking and behaving as if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter for you, because you're going to be the one to do it. You're going to be the one to change things. You're going to be the one to end things. You're going to be the one, like to make a difference, move as if you're the chosen one, And I think sometimes we keep thinking, oh, that's for somebody else. Somebody else will do it. Somebody else will take up that space. Somebody else will fulfill that dream or whatever it is. You need to decide that that's going to be you, like I'm the one that's going to change whatever I thought I could achieve and stuff and make it even more, make it even further, do it for your bloodline or whatever it is. You need to decide that I'm going to be the one's going to experience this lifestyle or whatever it is, because, I've decided that's who it is. That's who it's going to be. Move as if you're next. You're the next person for the job. You're the next person for that appointment. You're the next boss that's going to be taking up that place, whatever it is. If you don't move like that, if you don't think like that, you won't behave like that, which means you won't be chosen for that. How can they choose you if they do not think that you deserve it, if you do not belong in that space? You know what I'm saying? Move as if you belong, as if you are meant to be here and stuff. And if you have that idea in your mind that you are next in line, you're going to kind of adjust your behavior to that of the person who is appointed. Sometimes, a lot of the times, just because we are anointed, we're still waiting for our appointment. You know what I'm saying? And we have to trust that, yes, you have been anointed. Like, it will be it will be you, right? And you need, your ideas, sorry, your ideas that you may have and stuff again need to now move towards having an inspired action. Now that I've decided that I'm going to be the next person for the appointment and stuff, what are the different actions I'm taking? What are the routines I'm having? How do I show up at work that shows my dedication, my work ethic, my consistency, my diligence, and all of that kind of stuff, the plans that you have and all that. Let that inspire. As I said earlier, your action could be wanting to save a little bit more coins so at the end of these 3 months, you can afford something a little bit more on the pricey side or a more luxurious side or whatever it is, so that it can make you feel like you are in accordance with having that lifestyle that you aspire for yourself, if that's what you want. If having a luxurious item or whatever it is what you want and all of that, or if it means getting to, I don't know, have routines that make you feel better about yourself and stuff. So maybe right now you feel like, oh, Zama, but I'm not a morning person. Like, how do I do it? Now your ideas of, okay, how do I make my mornings more enjoyable? How do I get myself up in the morning? How do I make it more that I look forward to my mornings? As I keep saying, I love my mornings, but I love them because I put a lot of effort in them. I used to hate waking up in the morning, especially having to go to school and stuff like that. I was just like, I just want to sleep in. Now it's just my favorite part of the day. Everything that I want, like I'm the most energized in the morning. If you need me to do work and all of that, it has to be in the morning. I actually cannot bring myself to do anything after 2 p.m. I feel so like it's enough now, But from 4 a.m. and stuff, I'm literally the most like ready, the most prepared, the most this and that. And that's the thing. It's like I had to train myself how to do that. I had to train myself how to put in the most energy and all of that. So you might be feeling like, but my, who I am, my identity doesn't allow for it. That you can rewire your brain. We're literally trying to put in like neural pathways into your brain that kind of rewire the way that you think about yourself and the way that you act and all of that kind of stuff. Get desperate. I remember when I needed to sell tickets for the live show, I needed to become more desperate. I think I was still holding on to my ego. I was still holding on to my pride, holding on to like whatever it is. I needed to get desperate and get myself out of there, right? And actually be like, I need to put myself visibility, be anywhere and everywhere. Show that like I need tickets. I need you to buy tickets, come to the show. What can I do? But how can I make it more enticing, inviting, and all of that kind of stuff? Get desperate about the things that you want. Do not be afraid to be desperate. And that's the problem. Some of us, we're just not desperate enough, and that's why we don't take the action. Get this, like you need to really want it. Sometimes the reason we don't reach our goals is because we just don't want it bad enough, and then we write the same goals year after year after year because we don't want it bad enough. Be desperate about the things you're writing down that you want for yourself, that it's actually just like you have to get it. You have to do it, you have to be it, because I'm so desperate for this to work. I'm so desperate for me to succeed and stuff like that. Be perceived trying, be perceived failing. Do not, when I say visibility, because that was my thing when I said I had like an ego and I was so afraid, like I didn't want people to see that, like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling, like I need help, I need this, I need you to support me and all of that kind of stuff. Right now I'm writing a book, which means I really need to market it. I need to get people to be interested, to want to support, and I can't just rely on the fact that I think, oh well, people know my work so they'll buy the book. No, like I need to be so desperate about making this work, about the impact that I'm hoping it will make and all of that kind of stuff, that I really put it out there, And that's what I mean about being so visible. Like stop sheltering yourself, stop making yourself so small and take up so little room. Be as anywhere and everywhere as possible. Let people decide if they think you're too much or whatever, but never tell yourself you're too much. You're not enough. In fact, you are not enough. Elevate your your sense of self-worth, right? By that, so back to the whole example I gave about how you see your mornings, your perfect day, and all of that. When you elevate your sense of self-worth, you're now deciding that you are worthy of these things that you're wanting. You're worthy of these things that you are describing for yourself that you want. Like, I feel like I'm someone worthy of having different shower gels and whatever, because my self-worth, for me, it's like I love the way that I smell, I love the way that I feel, I love the way that whatever it is, based off of the weather, based on whatever it is, because I feel like I am worthy of that experience rather than just sticking to one thing. It could be something as small and miscellaneous and all of that kind of stuff as that, or as big as saying, I deserve to be in this room, I deserve to be in this space, and act in accordance with someone who has earned the right to be here, whether it's a business meeting, an opportunity, a contract sign, like whatever it is, carrying yourself in that way, an elevated sense of self-worth, be so delusional, even though you haven't even reached or achieved. Like, I was constantly in spaces where people around me had done so much more, have so much more experience. I don't know how many rooms I've always felt like I was the youngest one there and all of that kind of stuff. But like, when you have an elevated sense of self-worth, you know what it is that you're willing to take, what it is that you're not, your boundaries, and you also feel like this is exactly where you need to be. This is exactly where you're meant to be, Don't complicate the plan. Sometimes the reason why we don't become delusional about the things we want is because our plans seem so complicated. Like, how am I going to now eat healthy, go to gym, go to work, go to this, go to whatever it is. Make it as simple as possible. Take it hour by hour. What can I do? If I don't have the time to go to the gym, how can I get in my steps every day? that's a simpler plan. A simpler plan is making sure that you walk, making sure that you get the steps that you need that make you feel like you're being physically active every day. When you complicate the plan, it's difficult for you to become delusional about achieving the goal. And so you just never end up doing it and stuff. When you make it as simple as possible, make it as simple as possible, it becomes so much easier. Invest in yourself, invest in your self image, like how do you present yourself and all of that kind of stuff. What is it that you get, as I said earlier, with the example of what type of pajamas are you wearing and all of that, like something as simple. What are your house clothes? What are you invest in what you what you look like, because people are also taking cues about how you see yourself and how much you respect yourself based on how you present yourself, the way that you communicate, are you trying to improve the way that you speak to people, have healthier ways of having dialogue and all of that kind of stuff. Do you speak too fast like I do that I'm still working on? Can I adjust? Can I slow down? Can I change my tone, my rhythm, my this and that? How do we communicate effectively, that we show confidence, that we show that we know what it is that we're talking about? Having knowledge also. Do I want to go back to school? How do I do something every day that teaches me something, whether it's listening to a podcast or watching something or whatever it is, reading something and all of that kind of stuff. Investing in yourself is such an important part of being so delusional, because you're being able to think of bigger, think of more, because now you have that knowledge, and and I think also resilience is so important, because the thing about being delusional is that there are so many people that are going to call you out on it. There are so many people that are going to have something to say. There's so many people that are going to be like, why are you so confident about this thing that hasn't even happened yet? Why are you so why are you moving like someone who already has, I don't know, if you want to be a content creator and you're moving as someone who already has 100,000, followers, you need to move like that. Move as if all of these people are excited and want to hear from you, want to see your day, want to see what you're eating, want to see what, you know what I'm saying, are invested and care about your life and all of that. Even if you just have 500 followers and all the rest, move as if you already are that. And there are people going to shut you down. They're going to call you a wannabe or this and that or whatever. People only really mostly talk bad about things that they don't understand, about things that they fear. You could be so great. You could be such a competitor that people will try to bring you down and all of that for that. You need to know that it doesn't mean you should stop. It is not a stop sign. It is a yield sign. Pause, adjust, readjust, whatever it is. When life happens, when things happen, when you're met with challenges, when something comes that tries to change your plans of being delusional, all of that kind of stuff, take a pause, take a break, take a minute, and get back to dreaming, get back to making another plan, another thing, and don't let that kind of interfere with your confidence and stuff. Like, that's what I mean about resilience. Like, you just have to believe that this thing that you want is going to work, that it's actually already working. It's already working in your favor. Like, the world really is colluding to make this happen for you, because you've already decided, you've already decided that this is how my life is going to look, and this is the person I'm going to be. And I think that sorry, I was speaking so passionately. And I'm trying to slow myself down. I'm trying to have the awareness to just slow down a bit. But I think that there were many obstacles that were put in my place. Like, I'm thinking, even when I wanted to go study theater and performance in university, I was constantly told no, even by other family members and stuff. I was constantly told that, like, why would you do that? And how are you going to do it? Don't do it. It's not the right move. My child wasn't able to do it. They were struggling. They're this, they're that, all of that kind of stuff. And it was very discouraging. It was very difficult. And I had to be so delusional about this place that I'm at right now. I'm able to look in the camera and speak to you or wherever you're listening, in your car, in your room, on the TV, or whatever it is. Like, I had to believe there was going to be a time like this where the work that I've done and the things that I've learned, I'm going to be able to apply, and it didn't make sense back in 2017 for a lot of people, back in 2018, but now we're like, 2026, and everything all of a sudden makes sense. Everybody's like, you're exactly where you need to be. That's the thing. Sometimes it takes so much longer for everybody else to catch on. And don't worry. Like, honestly, never mind. They don't understand now, but one day they will. And you have to just keep believing that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to speak about today. Like, let's make this the year of being so delusional and aggressive about who it is we are and what it is that we're planning to do and all the rest. As always, I'm sending my love. Goodbye.
What in the 20s is going
In the
on?
20s,
Think about
yeah.
the 20s.
What
baby.
plenty.
What in the 20s is
I am
going
here for
on?
my 20s, baby.
This is the 20s.